Welcome to Talks with Don, episode 24, entitled Why I Became a Vegan and the Different Levels of Veganism. As always, we want to get started with some libations for the ancestors. This is for the ones who stepped up to the calling, and this is for the ones who, due to oppression, wanted to step up to the calling but couldn't. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Mm, 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 mm. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, y'all. As always, we're gonna get started with song by yours truly, Donna Issa, entitled "The Process." The saying goes that water sixes on level. You was attracted to ice on the bezel. The key to the door is that life's about levels. This is a tale about angels and devils. You got the gift, what's the load? It's the petals. God say protected, it's potent, it's special. They come for the gift, try to run with the gift. Inherently, you must be one with the gift. You cannot take this and code it through time. Perfection of craft must be molded like iron. Here you go, son. Just hold it as mine. Decipher from chosen and spiritual crime. Infinity stones and songs I came to collect. Sunshine is bright, but rain is so wet. To hear the calling, I have to be alone. The casualty of wrongs, the rarity of stones, flawless diamonds, sapphires, rubies. Sometimes it feels like a duty. Missing the signal can become spooky. Never know the hour to be bestowed with the power. If you go through the fire, come out cleaner in the shower. 7:20 is the time that I picked up the day. Pass this test, get the crown. You gon' be great. Don't be late. I won't be late. You are talking to someone that owns estates. This message inside is for you. Discover myself. I had to be myself as a youth. Protect what I had to call on recruits. Too many soldiers to fit in a coup. If you were never alone, I can't you hear you calling? Dark night of the soldiers, the people's hands falling. The gift that we discuss, you can't touch it or see it. We must be careful of energy leeches. Learn to discern the finicky species, the ones that get it, get it. If you hit a still, motherfucker, just beat it. Never know the hour to be bestowed with the power. If you go through the fire, come out cleaning in the shower. Never know the hour to be bestowed with the power. If you go through the fire, come out cleaning in the shower. Down the Ether, the process, out now on all streaming platforms. So, let's get started. This YouTube video is about why I became a vegan, the process of being a vegan, the different levels of being a vegan, things that you can eat. And so let's get into it. So I became a vegan in 2017. I think June of 2017. And everybody's path is different in life. And a lot of people that have been called to raise the vibration of the collective, they already signed up for this before they even came out of their mother's wombs. And when you go through different levels of initiation in life, there are going to be things that you unlock about yourself that you chose before you even came out of your mother's womb. And a lot of the things dealing with how we eat coincides with spirituality, and it deals with the bloodline that you come from. That's for another topic. But I know who I am. Do you? So a lot of people always ask me, why did I become a vegan? And the simple answer for people that don't understand spirituality, I just give them, hey, I did it for energy. The first example I'll give you for the baby answer that I give people, here in America, meat is prioritized. So in 2017, I started working for this barbershop. And when I started working for this barbershop, getting to the bread. So when you get into the bread materialistically, which is, I thought that the way to show your prosperity was, oh man, go get a big steak, because that's what we're programmed to believe in America. And the first few months that I was still working at this barbershop, when I would eat these steaks, I would get sleepy and wouldn't be able to go back and do work for the evening on the weekends, because the steak would make me sleepy. Because as we learn in the dietary thing, is that you take on the emotions of the animal before it was slaughtered when you eat it. So these animals, they're crying before they get slaughtered and go through whatever process to get slaughtered just to get on your plate. They're scared, fearful, crying, so you take on these emotions. So what do people do when they're sad? They sleep. So eating these emotions, you're going to go through those same emotions. So for the first 3 months I worked at this barbershop, I was still a carnivore. So in the June of 2017, I just dropped meat cold turkey. I had been studying Dr. Sabi, and the first thing that I started to eat that gave me energy is garbanzo beans. I make them into a patty, put mustard, tomatoes, lettuce, onions on a sandwich, just like a burger, and eat it. And amazingly, I wouldn't be sleepy after I would eat it. I would still have enough energy to go in and finish my duties at the barbershop. So that was one of the plus sides that I realized about it. But that wasn't the original reason that I became a vegan. Was not to lose weight. It was just for eating food that coincided with my bloodline and melanated individuals. So the real reason that I became a vegan, there was this master teacher, and he studied under this guy named Malachi York, and so I knew what he was saying to be true because I recognized the information from the books that Dr. Malachi Z. York had written. And he talked about what we would call in the Bible, or what you would call in the Bible, Revelations, where a time that they entitled the rapture. But we get into the esoteric meaning of that later. But he said there's a time that energy or different energies were going to be entering the earth, and if you were still on a carnivorous diet, these energies would be afraid to be around you because you give off a gross scent. Think about in the Bible when they would give offerings to the heavens. What did it say? The Most High was pleased with the smell. So when you put those rotting and decaying things in your body, it disturbs your soul and your spirit. So you give off a unpleasing smell. And this is not to disparage anybody that's carnivorous, and this is not to make fun of anybody. This is just talking about my journey and why I became a vegan. So as I cleaned out my system, detoxed my system, when I became a vegan, when I worked in a barbershop around other people that would eat meat on Saturdays, this guy used to come in and sell barbecue. So how I knew that what this guy was saying was true is when they would eat the barbecue, before, when I was still on a carnivorous diet, I didn't smell what I smelled when I was a vegan. After I detoxed my body and I started to smell the barbecue when they would bring it in the shop when I was a vegan, once I became a vegan, it started to stink to me. And I used to ask those guys, y'all don't smell that? But they wouldn't smell it because they're still plugged into that system. So since I was unplugged from that system, I could smell the rotten flesh. And a lot of times when you're dealing with businesses that sell meat, they're not selling you the best product. So fast forward to the master teacher talking about smell. Fast forward to, I think, 2023. And we're going to get into the chemistry of male and female anatomy. And I know y'all females can relate because a lot of females, when they're in love with their boyfriend or significant other, they're attracted to his natural smell. I've heard men say this about women as well, that they like their scent. Our nose is our detector. That's how we detect things that are around us. That's how we detect the ancestors, angels, or whatever. That's how we detect anything. I can remember being with a chick that was a carnivore while I'm still a vegan, and this chick would always say, man, I love your smell. Man, you smell good. You smell good. You smell good. And intuitively, I knew it was because I put life inside of my body. So when 2023 hit, say this the end of 2023, and this was me being a vegan coming full circle and showing me that I was on the right path. I'm out, one of my friends in Third Ward, and there's a guy that comes along, and I never discount anybody's spiritual gifts. This guy comes along and he says to me, I smell the smell, but it's not like a perfume or a cologne smell. It's just a smell. It smells good. And he said, it's like it's a smell that's been around since the beginning of the time. I know who I am. Do you? And so as I'm listening to this young man, I go back to the reason why I became a vegan. The master teacher saying that certain energies and angels wouldn't want to be around you if you give off a disgusting smell. And like I said, this solidified that I was doing the right thing all along. And that was a full circle moment for me. Okay, now I'm going to get into the different levels of being a vegan. I didn't become a vegan for weight loss, but it just naturally happened. During my journey, I've been at different levels due to how I work out, due to what I'm eating, and yes, naturally you're gonna lose weight because being a carnivore causes inflammation. And I saw the changes in myself. Skin got clearer, dropped weight, had more energy to work out. So eating alkaline consists of things that come naturally out of the earth that are alkaline in nature, meaning that are water, have higher water content in nature. If you want a full list of alkaline vegetables, just go type in Dr. Sabi's list of alkaline vegetables. Some people's list of alkaline vegetables differ, but this just includes like different salads, different proteins as far as beans. And a lot of people, they're concerned with keeping up that weight while being a vegan. And yes, you can be a vegan and maintain weight, but you have to eat proteins. And some of the proteins are garbanzo beans, any kind of beans. You can get protein from mushrooms and all. So you have a fruitarian being the highest. Well, that's not the highest, it's second to the highest. The highest is a breatharian, meaning you don't eat, you just live off the sunlight, and all vegetables are sunlight. And there are very few people that are like that, but that's a process that we're going to talk about on a later day. And this is, it goes breatharian. Under that is fruitarian. All you eat is fruits. Under that is alkaline vegan. That's what I started off at as far as eating all those vegetables. Under that is just a vegan, meaning that you just eat products that don't have any animal products in it. So that um, falls into what a lot of people that are vegan to save the animals. That's called vegan for the animals, and they eat processed vegan food like Beyond Burgers, Impossible Burgers, um, tofu, um, tofurkey, all that kind of stuff made out of soy. Different people have different um, feelings or mixed feelings about soy. Um, I've eaten it before, and uh, depending on how it's cooked, it flows differently with everybody's body. But I don't like eating it because it doesn't digest well in my body. So people would always ask me, well, how do you do it? And one thing that helped me do it and helped me, because a lot of people eat for texture, is mushrooms. Mushrooms have protein. Mushrooms give us and mimic the texture of meat. So started to do oyster mushrooms. Started off with portobellos. And depending on how you cook them, it just gives you a different texture. But you have to learn how to dehydrate them to give you that texture that you're looking for. And this goes into vibrational. Being vegan helped me to maintain high vibrations. Unbeknownst to me at the time, I was going through spiritual warfare. And I'm still going through spiritual warfare. But thanks to the Most High, and thanks to my twin brother that went vegan 3 months before me, I stepped into being a vegan, and this was able to continue to build my vibrations to be able to fight this spiritual journey and fight the spiritual warfare that I'm going through. Spirituality, a lot of times, in order for your angels or spirit guides to get through to you, like I talked about the sense, the smell, they have to be able to be attracted to the goodness in you. So a lot of times when you're going through spiritual warfare, disagreeable entities, they feed off carbohydrates, sugar, things that turn into sugar, and things that feed parasites in the body. So even being a vegan, ritually, you have to do a parasite cleanse. So, like I say, unbeknownst to me, I was going through spiritual warfare. And once I became a vegan, through the years, I was able to get the messages that I needed to pivot at the right times and learn what was going on. And through the spiritual warfare, it activated things inside of me to be able to see who's doing what. And I never exposed my hand, but thank the Most High, thank my spirit guides for being with me and this diet and journey and knowing what to put in my body. So those of you out there that are going through spiritual warfare, what you eat is very important. Those that are going through spiritual warfare, what you eat is very important. What you put in your body is very important. Thanks to the ancestors. Ashe. So, a lot of people, like I say, everybody's path is different. But for the ones that kind of like are inquiring and teeter-tottering, this video had been on my mind for a while to make, because people ask me that all the time. And the real reason, it's too long to just say in a conversation, just a little short conversation. So This is a video explaining that. And what I had to learn, because as Americans, we like quickness. We like the quickness of fast food. And there's not a vegan McDonald's on every corner. So I had to learn, oh, you're gonna have to cook and create your own food, because vegan food is not readily available. And through this creative process of cooking your own food, ideas come. You open up channels within yourself for ideas to flow freely through you. And through this journey, my brother and I have created a business that we can sustain ourselves off of. I've come up with beautiful things. I'm walking in purpose. And creativity brings high vibrations. And so when you're walking in purpose, this helps. And a lot of people will want to take that from you or attack your creativity because they don't have it and they don't know how to get it. But when you're going through spiritual warfare, it's a sign that you're here, you're one of the chosen, and you're walking in purpose. Somebody asked me the other day about making money from doing this, and I told this person, I don't do this for money. I do this to help the collective. And a lot of people are doing things and they want to be considered teachers just for either money, but a lot of people are doing it just for attention. And I'm doing it because it's my calling. Live in the moment and be present in the moment. And when you're present in the moment, that's how you can hear God speak to you and know what you're supposed to be doing. I always tell people, if you want to know what your purpose is, if you're one of the ones that are supposed to serve a higher purpose here for the collective here on earth, just think of what aspect of you that has always been attacked or made fun of since you were a child. So, man, I hope this video helps somebody. Like, share, subscribe. Don the Issa, The Process, out now on all platforms, on all streaming platforms. Man, thank you for the ones interacting. Thank you for the ones acknowledging that there was an energy exchange and that you received something from these videos, because, like I say, it's a spiritual crime to try to siphon energy from people without acknowledging that there was even an energy exchange, and we're living in times where that's no longer going to stand. So, love, healing. Thank you for watching. Ashe.